Get back up there and fix the shields.
Well, Kanan, I like to call Kanan the Cowboy Jedi.
Hi, I'm Freddie Prinze Jr., and I'm the voice of Kanan on Star Wars Rebels.
Kanan, I think, is the perceived head of this organization, of the crew of the Ghost. And when he tells you something, you got to do it.
Don't stop. Push off now.
Kanan has a lot of secrets, and he is very guarded about his past.
He's a young man that's adrift. He has no structure.
What I really like about Kanan is the fact that he is a Jedi, but he's not a Jedi in the traditional sense that we've had before on the show.
He's a little bit more relaxed in the strict Jedi rules.
You know, he's a little more rough around the edges.
A strong character that has sarcasm.
How about a little less attitude and a little more altitude?
You suddenly have this cocky Jedi who's willing to shoot you as much as he is willing to, get you with his lightsabers.
He's dressed pretty simply, but he's got the armor, so you could tell that he's kind of a fighter. The ponytail kind of harkens back to, samurai.
Kanan is a Jedi that is very much in this time period between episodes 3 and 4 of the films, given up being a Jedi.
Was forced underground by Order 66 in essence, and hasn't acted as a Jedi.
He's kept his lightsaber locked away, so he hasn't used it in a long time.
He can't be obviously a Jedi, because if he is, he's going to get killed.
And he's sort of forsaken the Jedi ways when all the Jedi were wiped out.
He saw the destruction of his way of life at the hands of Darth Vader and the Empire. He doesn't know how they can move forward and survive now as Jedi.
Iron time now.
You'll start to see Kanan's abilities grow as well as he's starting to use forces and things that he hasn't in a long time.
He's a gunslinger that needs to put the gun away and pick up the sword again and fight for noble causes and selfless causes.
Whether it's with a lightsaber or a blaster, is always willing to help out and take on the Empire.
Kanan is pretty much the coolest guy in the universe.
Look, I work alone.
Ezra's a kid that's been living on his own. He's a con artist, but he's only 14.
He's had a little rough, but he never really feels bad for himself. He's very street smart, he's a pickpocket, he's a little thief, but he's doing it all because he needs to survive. Hey, the kid's gotta eat.
He's not a bad kid, it's just what you do in this time. He's not wealthy enough to be taken care of, he's not wealthy enough to get off the planet.
He doesn't really trust anyone. That's kind of his motto in life.
Why would I risk my life for a bunch of strangers? People don't do that.
He has that kind of hard edge at times, but he knows how to turn on the charm when it comes to getting what he wants, and he's just very charismatic. Like I feel like people want to be his friend.
Well, every little bit helps.
He's been outrunning stormtroopers and fighting against the Empire his whole life.
But he's not a rebel. That's not really what he's about yet. If he can steal from the Empire in small ways, great. He doesn't mind sticking it to them at all. In fact, he likes doing that.
He always wants to get his hands on some of their tech, take it apart, mess with it. He's always stealing their helmets, because what kid wouldn't?
Ezra is I just have a soft spot for him because he is the first character we came up with for the show. I'm always rooting for him.
We see this whole series very much through Ezra's eyes. As his eyes get open to what the Empire's capable of, his eyes are open to the fact that there are people who care, who are trying to fight the good fight, and he becomes one of them.
When he meets Kanan and the crew of the Ghost, it's kind of this opportunity to have a family, so it's a great choice that he makes to go along with them.
To survive instinctively, every now and then when he's in a jam, he uses the Force. Now, he doesn't call it that. He doesn't know that's what he's doing. He thinks he's got some abilities that are a little strange every now and then, but they help him out. It's instinctive. It's reactionary.
And in Kanan, he also finds someone who can mentor him in a way.
They get thrown into that scenario without really realizing that they are being thrown into it.
They need each other. Ezra will never become a Jedi without Kanan, and Kanan will never reclaim his status and become a Jedi Knight without Ezra.
You doing okay, kid?
You kidding? This is a blast!
What can I say about Chopper? He's grumpy. He's a little rickety astromech made up of a bunch of different spare parts because our rebels can't even afford the nicer new parts. He likes to do things the way that he wants, not necessarily the way the crew wants or as fast as the crew would like, but he gets the job done. He's incredibly loyal. The easiest way to sum up Chopper that we took to on the writing team is if R2's your favorite dog, Chopper's a cat.
He's extremely belligerent and just sort of very rude. He's really only useful if it seems to suit him.
He's not super thrilled to be doing certain things. He doesn't like to be told what to do.
He's always just grumbling about stuff. He's never cheerful, does not have a sunny disposition.
I think the biggest difference between Chopper and R2 is that R2 actually cares whether or not you like him, whereas Chopper doesn't care at all. Half the time he doesn't even do what he's asked to do, he just decides to go off and do something else. It's like he was never trained or programmed or in any way, you know, schooled at all. He just has no manners.
We've never had the opportunity to really do a droid like that just kind of is a little more dismissive of people. You'll hear all kinds of little remarks that he makes and gruff kind of sounds.
He always sounds cantankerous. I guess ultimately he still means well. Sometimes it's hard to tell. One of the things that's always challenging about designing anything for Star Wars is have it be somehow fresh and new. In the case of Chopper, fresh and new actually meant even more old and beat up than the stuff we saw in episode 4. So we very consciously went all the way back to the original Ralph and Quarry concepts for R2. We looked at the head-arm articulation thing from way, way back and knew that was something we wanted to include.
He's built from all these different parts. There's not one part of him that is original. That's
part of his strength, is that he's so old that he now does things in a way that's almost simpler and more effective than the newfangled ones are. I think people are going to enjoy Chopper mainly because he keeps saving the day and people sort of forget the huge mess that he made earlier.
If all you do is fight for your own life, then your life is worth nothing.
Hera, well, Hera's our pilot. The Ghost is her ship. She's the one that got it, bought it, swindled it out of someone, however you want it.
Whenever someone makes something look easy, it's enjoyable to watch, and I think she really makes flying the Ghost look easy.
You need to go warn them, Ezra.
My name is Vanessa Marshall. I play Hera on Star Wars Rebels. Hera guides and leads this band of rebels.
Kanan, we have a small situation here.
She is a very strong-minded character.
If you care to blast one of those ties out of the galaxy, I don't think anyone would object.
And at the same time, she's actually quite warm and nurturing.
Kind of the heart of the group, keeps everybody together when they would otherwise fall apart.
She knows how to talk to them to get the best out of themselves and to be part of that team. And that to me is the commander of a ship.
Hera definitely is a practical, no-nonsense character. She wears utilitarian flight gear. She isn't interested in being glamorous. Not that she isn't glamorous, but it's not a priority for her.
Then I love the fact that Hera is a Twi'lek. Plus, I've always liked Twi'leks. I don't know, I think it's because of their Leku.
Long head tails.
Shields down. Chopper, fix them!
The rebels are the way they are because they want to fight back, and the Empire has affected them all in personal ways. And it's uncovering what those things are that really lets you understand the characters in a deeper way.
Chop! Jam their tractor beam!
Every time we get a script, I'm breathless with anticipation. I cannot wait to read what's next.
I need to be ready to take off or none of us stands a chance.
Because I want to see where we're going too.
My name's Zeb, you love rat.
Zeb, he's his own new alien species, and you could tell just from the size of him. He's the muscle of the group, but he's not just a dumb thug. We always wanted him to have a different angle. I think the first thing that catches people off guard is Zeb's voice.
It's possible I may be a little late.
The thing they don't really realize about Zeb is that he is a well-trained honor guard. He on his home planet would have been revered for his fighting skills and well-educated.
Zeb actually is pretty articulate and witty and funny. That sort of juxtaposed with what he looks like makes for an interesting character.
My name is Steve Bloom, and I play the character of Zeb, also known as Garazeb Aurelios, but only to his mum. He's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder. He hates Chopper, can't stand him. Is starting to build a relationship with Ezra begrudgingly, I think. No way! You cannot be serious!
All right, 107. Big as he is and educated as he is, he's not beyond mixing it up with Ezra. He's not beyond getting wrapped up in these childlike chases and games that Ezra kind of goads him into it.
They're just fighting all the time, and they don't get along. They do work together. They have to work together a lot.
Whoa. Kid, get out of the way!
But then there's also a really true bond between them. You'll see that as the show kind of evolves, where Ezra starts sort of as the outcast, and then he kind of becomes involved in this family, and Zeb sort of plays that big brother role to him.
I'm sure there are one or two bucketheads worth punching on the other side.
Zeb loves to beat up stormtroopers. It's his favorite pastime.
Take two stormtroopers' heads and just take them and bash them together.
Wait, are you fighting stormtroopers?
What makes you say that?
We kind of wanted to have a lot of fun with him because he gets to do a whole lot of action kind of things, and we really get to use him in that way. And you'll see when he's fighting that he gets very physical. He uses his feet and his hands and all kinds of things. He was from a military background, so he is going to have military style moves and things. So similar to martial arts kind of stuff, he'll be probably the one who does that kind of stuff the most.
I kind of like that he will take the quickest path or figure something out really quickly to get it done, whether it's use a big weapon or his fist. If someone's trying to pick a lock on a door, he'd be the first one to just kind of walk past you and kick it open.
I'll be here.
Yeah, he's fun to watch that way.
It's just going to be exciting to develop him and his bizarre new species and to explain to the audience where he came from and the detail of the personal nature of what happened with him.
Spectre 5 to Ghost. Going in now.
Well, Sabine, now she's one I know the fans will be excited about as soon as I say this, but she's Mandalorian.
She is spunky, she's feisty, she's got a little bit of attitude.
And with that comes a great understanding of weapons and arms, and she's definitely one that's turned against the Empire, and that's going to be to the Rebels' benefit.
Get ready. 2, 1, now. She is very well versed in explosives, and she likes to blow things up. But she does it with flair because she's also an artist, so she's pretty rad. She also does some graffiti art on the side for fun.
The Imperials always know when our rebels have attacked because Sabine likes to tag their site. She'll sometimes take her blaster and blast like the Phoenix symbol on the wall.
We have a library of graffiti that we get to design for Sabine, but we're always adding in new ones because she's always doing something kind of specific.
She's adding something that we really haven't seen in the Star Wars universe. You have a character that is expressively creative through art, whether it's the color of her hair or what she's done to her armor. She personalizes things.
I love the way she dresses. She just seems hip. She knows how to have fun, but she's also serious.
I love her. I wish I was her. She's cool, she's smart, she's kind of a tomboy. She's not like a prissy little girl, and I love that. I'm probably prissier in real life than she is, so I get to kind of explore this sassy, strong, kick-butt kind of character, and I think she's kind of an inspiration.